Hello world, it's me again, your very favorite person in the whole wide world, codenamed Awesome, aka Squee, and I am finally back with my review of Dan Brereton's new graphic novel, Giant Killer. Yay! Here it is, it's gorgeous. I was planning on doing a whole awesome thing where I unbox it, and then I'll do me reading it to some random music, not reading the whole thing, but just kind of a little sped up montage of me reading it, which didn't happen because one, I'm pretty sure my old ass camera is not going to be able to take that. Two, I didn't have time, and my office is complete crap because I've been working from home, so there's boxes everywhere. I left all the boxes for my work in my car, so my office wouldn't look quite so insane. And three, I'm lazy. So I didn't save the unboxing for you. I read through it without you. Sorry. But I got good news for you all. So this thing, like everything else, was part of a Kickstarter campaign. Which, of course, like I said in the last video, I'll pony up the cash for Dan in a heartbeat. But since usually Kickstarter campaigns are not available after they're done, this is not the case with this one. All you got to do is go to budsartbooks.com, which is a really cool site where you can get not just stuff from Dan Brereton, you get other stuff from other artists, he's got art books and stuff like that. So it's a really cool site. You can get Giant Killer, yay, as well as I forget which other one I saw on there, but they've got some of the stuff that Dan's put out. I think he's got other stuff he's put out on Kickstarter. So go check it out because it's definitely worth a peek. They got a lot of stuff there. So yes, once again, budsartbooks.com. So now that I've said all that and I've shamelessly promoted stuff because, that's how you do it, I'm going to go ahead and read this. Like I said, there's not going to be a montage of me reading it because lazy. But I'm going to go ahead and read it. I might throw in a couple little tidbits as I go along. But yes, I will see you in a few. Okay, so I kind of started flipping through the Giant Killer graphic novel, and I've noticed a few things. The first thing it starts off with is kind of a bestiary from the Witcher games, where you collect all the information and intel about the different monsters. And there were just some of them that the way that they looked or whatever, they made me think things. This sounds so weird to say, but it gave me kind of little ha ha ha, this is how they sound type things. And I thought I would share them with you. So I'm not going to show all of them. I'm just going to kind of flip through some of them. But I figured it'd be fun to just share with you the different thoughts I had while I was looking through them. This guy right here would be the guy sort of you stumble across, and he's very friendly. He's like a Casper the Friendly Ghost kind of guy. He's like, well, hi, how are you doing? Welcome to town. Let me show you around. Yeah. Each of these guys is thinking a different thing. And this guy's like, huh, what a strange little contraption this is. Can we eat it? Let's crush it instead. Toothpick. Evil Rafiki. Anyone who knows me knows that I am a sucker for dragons. So when I saw this one, I was pretty much like, oh, beautiful, I love it. And yeah, I'm going to give you a nice little close-up of all the stuff because that's how I roll. His name's Fafnir. And just, he's got that majestic looking dragon thing going on. It's not just like that dragon that's like, hello, I'm here on the rock, I'm going to eat you, or I'm being very scary. He's just he's chilling, he's looking quite majestic. And can we just take a second to appreciate the fact that it looks like he's sticking his tongue out at Jack, and Jack looks very disgruntled. So whether or not that was actually supposed to happen, I don't know, but it's still pretty funny to me. Hi, I seem to be lost. Do you happen to know the way to, humans? Or something to eat? Yes. I can't find the Alamo Diner because I think another monster destroyed it.
As I sit here, bathed within this ethereal light, I feel the gentle caress of the night against my skin. What can this mean? What sort of world is this that I have become into? Who am I to be in such a place? What does it all mean? Life, the universe, and everything. I shall ponder this upon my rock for the rest of my days. Ultimate power!
Hello there. My name is The Undertaker. No. My name's not important. Welcome to the graveyard, cafe. That's right, it is a cafe. Let me show you to your grave. Which would you like to be at? Would you like to be at the obelisk, or perhaps the standard, normal little tombstone? Or would you like a decorative tombstone too? You just go to, yes, how can I serve you?
I have an overbite.
It's like, you saw me naked. Why are you looking at me? Oh my God, where is my husband? He's gonna kill you. Rah!
Fuck, it's cold.
Excuse the overhead lighting, but I had to just point this out because it made me laugh. But this dude just encountered a monster for the first time, and he acts like that asshole on Game of Thrones that's been taken over by, or he's in charge of the Night's Watch for some unknown reason, and he's like, giants aren't real. Meanwhile, Jon Snow's like, they got giants on mammoths. Like, giants aren't real, neither are mammoths. That's this guy right here. One of the things that I find absolutely amazing with Dan's work is I love the way he draws people's eyes, which I know is kind of a weird thing to say, but for a lot of things, especially with art, it's a lot of times it's the eyeballs that kind of get me. I have to kind of I gravitate toward them. They look like they're staring you down, which is kind of what you want, I guess. I mean, I went to a Comic-Con and it wasn't Dan's work, but it was from Tommy Castillo, and I saw a picture of Poison Ivy from across several aisles, and it's just her eyes were so powerful that it just kind of zeroed in. I zeroed right on into it because it was just bam there. I mean, it doesn't even have to have a whole lot to them, just kind of these eyes are yellow. They don't have a whole bunch of detail to them, but they still are kind of they can stare you down and stare into your soul. I have a couple other things right here, even just, she's not even looking at you, and her eyes are kind of there's intense to them, or intensity rather. So I thought that was kind of cool, and it could even be the eyeball of someone that's rather disgusting and creepy looking, but it's still the eyeballs gotcha. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. I wanted to add that in there as I was flipping through. So, yeah. This is 110% just me being a lame little silly person, but he said squee. Okay, hello once more. I am back, and as I'm sure you can tell, stuff has changed. And the fact that now I'm wearing different clothes, my hair is looking much better, and guess what? It's a completely different day. What started happening was when I started recording the other parts of this video, it was 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and so I went directly from doing those parts of the video to just reading, and by the time that was over, it was 11:30, 12 o'clock, and I was very, very tired, so I figured I would just go and work on it the next day. Sorry, allergies. I'm sure you can tell now there's just a big old giant pile of mess behind me because I did finish working from home, so I've got all the boxes and all the paper all over the place. So this is what my office looks like after I finished working. So, yep, that's a thing. But, however, we are not here to talk about the trash state of my office. We are here to talk about this book, which I finally read. And I noticed when I was looking at other recordings, whenever I go like this, I end up making a bit of a jiggle in the camera. So I apologize for that. But anyway, so definitely after I finished reading it, love it. It's great. Got a great story. It wasn't the story I expected. I mean, I didn't really know what I expected out of it. I think part of me was kind of thinking, okay, so what's going to end up happening is one of those Godzilla things where it's like monsters arrive and take out a city and then someone's got to come and save the day. So it was like maybe like monsters invade wherever the city's supposed to be and then giant killers save us. Oh god. All I know is it's actually a really cool take on it because it's sort of like this volcano erupts and all these monsters come out of it, and instead of like going forth and taking over the world, they kind of hang out in this one secluded space that, like, of course the government takes over and like keeps under lock and key, but the people know that these monsters exist for the most part, and they're told to evacuate, but they just kind of go, fuck that. I mean, this is like anti-massacre central. It's like, there's no problem. Let's not get political. I should probably cut that out. But anyway, so long story short, they end up like creating Jack the Giant Killer in like a lab to kind of like have some sort of defense against these monsters. They send him off into the contaminated monster-filled zone to start taking out the monsters, and like he meets Jill, and then other interesting things happen. I'm not going to just go ahead and spoil the whole story because I am hoping that you guys will eventually go out and buy it if you have not already. So let's just talk about things that are in there. I actually have a list because I know I'm going to forget. So let's sit back, kick back, and let's start talking about the art. So the one thing I noticed pretty much right away, these aren't like the monsters that you're kind of expecting. Big old like jaggedy teeth, like terrifying, horrible, you know, scale covered monsters. A lot of them have fur. They're a bunch of different colors. That's kind of another thing that I kind of noticed with the art for this book. I mean, I know most of what I read is usually like the Nocturnal series where everything's like usually at night, so everything's dark. This one's actually got quite a lot of like light to it, quite a lot of daylight, quite a lot of colors, which is cool. But yeah, the monsters, I don't say they aren't your typical monsters because they, you know, they're monsters, but they're different than normal typical monsters that you're gonna like kind of come across. And as far as the character Jack the Giant Killer goes, my first impression of him was that it's like if Hellboy and Batman had a baby and then they like went out and stole the Witcher's bestiary and just like, I don't know where they would have gotten the samurai sword from. I don't know. Maybe they would have stolen it from like Ra's al Ghul. That's like him. That's what he looks like. It's like Batman and Hellboy had a baby. I'm so sorry. One of the things that's kind of interesting about him is that he has this tail that kind of like clacks. And it's a cool feature, but at the same time, it just automatically brought me back to my old Skyrim playing days where they have these little like creatures called like chitlins, or I don't even know how to pronounce it, but their tails make this weird clacky noise when they're running around, and they are a bitch to kill. But it just kind of reminded me of that. As far as Jill goes, she's the heroine of the story. She's kind of got that like badass, like she looks like she could take out like a whole shit ton of people just like with a gun. Like she would totally kick your ass. As far as some of the other characters in the books go, or in the book go, there's always like, you know, since there's monsters, of course there's going to be military involved. And it seems like no matter where you go, there's always that one like old army sergeant guy that just wants to kill everything and nuke everything, that's got the white hair and the white mustache. So he does kind of make an appearance. I'm not saying it's like a trope or a cliche. I mean, it's just kind of, that always seems to happen. And there's a bunch of other characters that are kind of like, you know, standard issue characters. Not a whole lot like to say about them. They weren't ones I've really paid much attention to. One of the things I'd like to stress definitely though is a lot of these characters, which this just kind of is a kind of like, I don't want to say attribute's the right word for it, but it's kind of like just speaks about Dan's style, is these guys definitely would all like be able to exist in the same universe as the Nocturnals. Pretty much it for the art aspect of it. I posted a little bit earlier a little clip about how I was talking about the way that he makes his eyes, which I can't stop. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and gush about it because they're beautiful. We all know they're beautiful. We all know they have that good intensity, and that's the kind of stuff that I love. So that's that for the art. Now let's move on to my reaction, which I kind of already gone through a little bit, but my reaction to how the story went. Like I said, I was not really expecting it to kind of play out the way it was. I don't even know that I was expecting anything because I don't really know much about like monster slaying. I don't know if it's called kaiju, or I'm not really sure what the actual word is. I don't know much about it, but I thought it was just a really cool story that it ended up being that Jack and Jill, they don't really like want to go off murdering all these monsters. They're just kind of like, okay, let them be to some degree. And then when they met Knox, who's like the really cool gargoyle guy that earlier said Squee, I actually like really liked that character. The moment that he started talking, you can just kind of like hear his voice in your head, and like I don't want to say it wasn't completely off as far as how it goes when I was doing my little ha 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 little bits, but I was kind of like, wow, I can just kind of imagine him having one of those like God, I can't even think of who it is. There's like a character, I won't say it sounds like Falcor because I don't remember how Falcor sounds. He's got this very, very deep, breathy kind of voice. I mean, could it be the dragon from The Hobbit? I don't know. Anyway, I can like imagine him talking, and I can't imagine like how he breathes in like the little like purry breaths. I mean, I was kind of like, this monster is so cool. And then Dan killed him. I like almost wanted to start crying because it's like he was like, I just had such an emotional connection with him right away. So it's kind of sad when he died, but it adds to the story, and I mean, it gives you that emotional kind of trigger to it, which is really cool. I also thought it was kind of interesting how they presented, or how there's only one Dan. I kind of was impressed and a little bit like, I'm like, oh, that's cool. How they presented like Jack's birth versus Jill's birth, because Jill was a human that was like nearly dead, and they like did all the weird like Resident Evil type fixing up on her, threw in like a little glass bubble, kind of like they did to Alice, and fixed her so she's kind of more like, not really superhuman, but she's obviously more durable. And then they did kind of the same thing with Jack, only he became more like, I don't say like Nemesis, where he got more like monstery, while she was still human. So I thought that was kind of cool, like seeing how their origin stories kind of happened. And I did like hearing about how Jill became the way she was, because that was kind of a cool little addition to it, so you kind of know more about the characters, which is always a cool thing to have happen. Like I said, this is definitely a book that I feel like everyone has to read. I kind of give it a 5 out of 5 or a 4 out of 4 or whatever gauge you want to use. One of the things I didn't take a picture of earlier for like the little montage of things, one of the monsters has a little sign in there that says Witchburger. And honestly, if there was a place called Witchburger, I would eat there every meal of my life, because that just sounds like a great place to go. I mean, in Chicago, we have a place called Kuma's Corner, which is all like heavy metal themed burgers. But Witchburger, what the hell are they going to serve? I want to eat a burger at Witchburger. But that's my thoughts on the book. So, yes, definitely go buy it. Or at least if you haven't bought it, go check out budsartbooks.com, because they have a whole bunch of stuff besides just this book. Like you can get pulp comics, you can buy like actual art books. Just like check it out, because it's pretty cool. I mean, I'm kind of looking through it and I'm just like, okay, I need that, and I need that, and I need that, and I need that. And I will link it below in the description. So, 5 out of 5. Go to budsartbooks.com. And I hope to have something else to unbox or review at some point. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a lull in all my stuff that I normally do. But that's that. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, even though I don't put videos regularly. And yeah, that's it. So I will see you next time. Bye!